Honeycomb, textbook in English for class 7.
Chapter 9. Before you read, if you wish to go on a bicycle ride, the bicycle should be in a good condition. If possible, an expert mechanic should overhaul it. But what happens if the machine has a will of its own and the mechanic knows next to nothing? A bicycle in good repair. Part 1. A man I knew proposed one evening we should go for a long bicycle ride together on the following day, and I agreed. I got up early for me. I made an effort and I was pleased with myself. He came half an hour late. I was waiting for him in the garden. It was a lovely day. He said, "That's a good-looking machine of yours. How does it run?" "Oh, like most of them," I answered. "Easily enough in the morning. Goes a little stiffy after lunch." He caught hold of it by the front wheel and the fork and shook it violently. I said, "Don't do that. You will hurt it." I did not see why he should shake it. It had not done anything to him. Besides, if it wanted shaking, I was the proper person to shake it. Page number 127. I felt much as I should had he started racking my dog. He said, "This front wheel wobbles." I said, "It doesn't if you don't wobble it." It didn't wobble. As a matter of fact, nothing worth calling a wobble. He said, "This is dangerous. Have you got a hammer?" I ought to have been firm, but I thought that perhaps he really did know something about the business. I went to the tool shed to see what I could find. When I came back, he was sitting on the ground with the front wheel between his legs. He was playing with it, twiddling it round between his fingers. The remnant of the machine was lying on the gravel path beside him. He said, "It looks to me as if the bearings were all wrong. Don't you trouble about it any more. You will make yourself tired. Let us put it back and get off." Word meanings. Whacking means beating, striking. Wobble means move unsteadily from side to side. Twiddling means turning. Remnant means remaining parts. Bearings means ball bearings. Page number 128. He said, "We may as well see what is the matter with it. Now it is out." He talked as though it had dropped out by an accident. Before I could stop him, he had unscrewed something somewhere and out rolled all over the path some dozen or so little balls. "Catch them!" he shouted. "Catch them! We mustn't lose any of them." He was quite excited about them. We crawled round for half an hour and found 16. He said he hoped we had got all them, because if not, it would make a serious difference to the machine. I put them for safety in my hat. It was not a sensible thing to do, I admit. Word meanings. Grovelled means crawled on the ground. Comprehension check. Question number 1. I got up early for me. It implies that first, he was an early riser. Second, he was a late riser. Third, he got up late that morning. Mark the correct answer. Question number 2. The bicycle goes easily enough in the morning and a little stiffy after lunch. The remark is first, humorous. Second, inaccurate. Third, sarcastic. Fourth, enjoyable. Fifth, meaningless. Mark your choice. Question number 3. The friend shook the bicycle violently. Find 2 or 3 sentences in the text which express the author's disapproval of it. Question number 4. If not, it would make a serious difference to the machine. What does it refer to? Page number 129, part 2. He then said that while he was about it, he would see the chain for me, and at once begin taking off the gear case. I did try to dissuade him from that. I told him what an experienced friend of mine once said to me solemnly. If anything goes wrong with your gear case, sell the machine and buy a new one. It comes cheaper. He said, people talk like that who understand nothing about machines. Nothing is easier than taking off a gear case. I had to confess he was right. In less than 5 minutes, he had the gear case in 2 pieces, lying on the path, and was growling for screws. He said it was always a mystery to him the way screws disappeared. Common sense continued to whisper to me, stop him before he does any more mischief. You have a right to protect your own property from the ravages of a lunatic. Take him by the scruff of the neck and kick him out of the gate. But I am weak when it comes to hurting other people's feeling, and I let him muddle on it. He gave up looking for the rest of the screws. He said screws had a knack of turning up when you least expected them, and that now he would see to the chain. He tightened it till it would not move. Next, he loosened it until it was twice as loose as it was before. Then he said, we had better think about getting the front wheel back into its place again. I held the fork open and he worried with the wheel. At the end of 10 minutes, I suggested he should hold the fork and that I should handle the wheel, and we changed the places. Word meanings. See to the chain means check or examine the chain. Ravages means damages. Lunatic means mad person. Muddle means mix up things. Page number 130. At length we did get the thing into position, and the moment it was in position he burst out laughing. I said, what's the joke? He said, well, I am an ass. It was the first thing he had said that made me respect him. I asked him what had led him to the discovery. He said, we have forgotten the balls. I looked for my hat. It was lying topsy-turvy in the middle of the path. He was a cheerful disposition. He said, well, we must put back all we can find and trust to Providence. Word meanings. Topsy-turvy means upside down. Page number 131. We found 11. We fixed 6 on one side and 5 on the other, and half an hour later the wheel was in its place again. It need hardly be added that it really did wobble now. A child might have noticed it. He said it would do for the present. I said, watching you do this is for real use to me. It is not only your skill that fascinates me, it is your cheery confidence in yourself, your inexplicable hopefulness that does me good. Thus encouraged, he set to work to refix the gear case. He stood the bicycle against the house and worked from the offside. Then he stood it against a tree and worked from the onside. Then I held it for him while he lay on the ground with his head between the wheels, and worked at it from below and dropped oil upon himself. Then he took it away from me and doubled himself across it till he lost his balance and slid over on his head. Then he lost his temper and tried bullying the thing. The bicycle, I was glad to see, showed spirit and the subsequent proceedings degenerated into little else than a rough and tumble fight between him and the machine. One moment the bicycle would be on the gravel path and he on the top of it. Next, the position would be reversed. He on the gravel path and the bicycle on him. Now he would be standing flushed with victory, the bicycle firmly fixed between his legs. But his triumph would be short-lived. By a sudden, quick movement, it would free itself and, turning upon him, hit him sharply over the head with one of its handles. Word meanings. Inexplicable means that can't be explained. Mysterious. Off or onside means in cricket, offside is that side of the field which the batsman is facing to receive the ball. Onside is the opposite to that. Degenerated into means were reduced to. Page number 132. At 1:45, dirty and dishevelled, cut and bleeding, he said, "I think that will do," and rose and whipped his brow. The bicycle looked as if it also had enough of it. Which had received most punishment it would have been difficult to say. I took him into the back kitchen where, so far as was possible, he cleaned himself. Then I sent him home. Jerome K. Jerome. Abridged. Working with the text. Answer the following questions. Question number 1. Did front wheel really wobble? What is your opinion? Give a reason for your answer. Page number 133. Question number 2. In what condition did the author find the bicycle when he returned from the tool shed? Question number 3. Nothing is easier than taking off the gear case. Comment on or continue this sentence in the light of what actually happens. Question number 4. What special treatment did the chain receive? Question number 5. The friend has two qualities. He knows what he is doing and is absolutely sure it is good. Find the two phrases in the text which mean the same. Question number 6. Describe the fight between the man and the machine. Find the relevant sentences in the text and write them. Working with the language. Question number 1. Read the following sentences. We should go for a long bicycle ride. I ought to have been firm. We must not lose any of them. I suggested that he hold the fork and that I should handle the wheel. The words in italics are modal auxiliaries. Modal auxiliaries are used with verbs to express notions such as possibility, permission, willingness, obligation, necessity, etc. Should, must, and ought to generally express moral obligation, necessity, and desirability. Look at the following. We should go on a holiday. Suggestion. It is a good idea for us to go on a holiday. He is not too well these days. He must see a doctor before he becomes worse. Compulsion or necessity. It is absolutely essential or necessary for him to see a doctor. You ought to listen to me. I am well over a decade older than you. More emphatic than should. Since I am older than you, it is advisable that you listen to me. Note: should and ought to are often used interchangeably. Page number 134. Rewrite each of the following sentences using should, ought to, must in place of the italicized words. Make other changes wherever necessary. First, you are obliged to do your duty irrespective of consequences. Second, you will do well to study at least for an hour every day. Third, the doctor says it is necessary for her to sleep 8 hours every night. Fourth, It is right that you show respect towards elders and affection towards youngsters. Fifth, if you want to stay healthy, exercise regularly. Sixth, it is good for you to take a walk every morning. Seventh, it is strongly advised that you don't stand on your head. Eighth, as he has a cold, it is better for him to go to bed. Page number 135. Question number 2. Use should, must, ought to appropriately in the following sentences. First, people who live in glass houses dash not throw stones. Second, you dash wipe your feet before coming into the house, especially during the rains. Third, you dash do what the teacher tells you. Fourth, the pupils were told that they dash write more neatly. Fifth, sign in front of a park. You dash not walk on the grass. Sixth, you dash be ashamed of yourself having made such a remark. Seventh, he left home at 9 o'clock. He dash be here any minute. Eighth, whatever happened to the chocolate cake? How dash I know? I have just arrived. Question number 3. 2 or more single sentences can be combined to form a single sentence. Read the following. I made an effort and was pleased with myself. This sentence is in fact a combination of 2 sentences. I made an effort. I was pleased with myself. Now read this sentence. I did not see why he should shake it. This is also a combination of 2 sentences. I did not see it. Why should he shake it? Divide each of the following sentences into its parts. Write meaningful parts. If necessary, supply a word or two to make each part meaningful. First, I went to the tool shed to see what I could find. 3 parts. Second, when I come back, he was sitting on the ground. 2 parts. Page number 136. Third, we may as well see what's the matter with it. Now it is out. 3 parts. Fourth, he said he hoped we had got them all. 3 parts. Fifth, I had to confess he was right. 2 parts. Question number 4. N acts as a prefix put at the beginning or as a suffix put at the end to form a new word. En, N plus courage is equal to encourage. Weak plus En, N is equal to weaken. En, N at the beginning or at the end of a word is not always a prefix or a suffix. It is then an integral part of the word. Ending, barren. First, now arrange the words given in the box under the 3 headings: prefix, suffix, and part of the word. Encourage, barren, fasten, even, dampen, endanger, enclose, enable, listen, soften, weaken, enclave. Now arrange these words in the respective columns. First, en as a prefix. Second, en as a suffix. Third, en as a part of the word. Second, find the new words in your textbook and put them under the same headings.